Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Couples Academy show. My name is Hasani.
And I'm Danielle.
And it's 2023, and we're back.
Yes.
We're back.
A new year.
A new year.
I love it. I love the top of the year.
Why is that?
I love the top of the year because it just breathes so much hope and inspiration. You know, like we always do this rear view mirror exercise where we get a chance to look in the back, look behind and see, okay, what are all the things that we said we were going to do last year? Did we accomplish those things? And then those things that we did not get to or didn't complete, and it's not really that many ever, right? Because we accomplished some things. But those things that are left over, we move them into 2023, into the next year, because those goals, we have to accomplish them. So it's inspiring, exciting to look back and see how much you've accomplished, to look forward to see how much more is in store. So it's an exciting time.
It is. And we're excited that you're a part of our community. And you're going to be joining us throughout the entire year. We have some great topics and shows that we're going to be unpacking all throughout this year. So we want you to stay tuned. We want you to make sure, whether you're in the car on the way to work, whether you're in the kitchen making breakfast, whether you're in the bed still, that you are consistent and...
Yes, make sure you like... Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I thought you were saying and...
Oh, go ahead.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Like, for real, right? You people say it all the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, the way marketing and advertising works is the more you say it, people stop hearing it. So because you hear it on every channel that you watch, oftentimes you're like, yeah, I'm going to do that. But no, really do that. Make sure that you actually like, subscribe so that you get the notifications, and tell your friends to do the same thing. It really helps us spread this message across the globe, which we were super passionate about, and I know you are too. And it makes sure that you don't miss any shows and any powerful topics.
So let's dive right in. We have a new topic for the new year, and as you know, we try to pull back the layers and give you a comprehensive understanding of what it is. We're talking about the 11 signs that a cheater will cheat again.
Ooh-wee.
You know, there's this thought that once a cheater, always a cheater. We don't subscribe to that belief. And it's not just a belief, it's a reality. There are many people who, unfortunately, make a mistake. They engage in an error in judgment, and they really harm their relationship, and they realize the error of their ways and the level of impact that they've had on their marriage and their family, and they really change, they transform, and they go in another direction. However, there are those that continue to make the same mistake again and again and again, and we want to talk to you about what those signs are.
And they're not hopeless either, those that keep making the mistake again and again, because one thing that we've discovered is that the more that you wound others, you also wound yourself. And so you start to create a belief system about yourself. So oftentimes people who keep making the same mistake over and over again, it's really because they have a belief system that they can't do any better. And that's why tuning into a show like this and dialing into Couples Academy, where you get the training that you need to unearth those ideas that have you blocked, really is the transformation that takes people from where they're at to where they need to be.
All right, so let's go to the first one. Here's a sign. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior.
Well, I mean,
because in essence, what you're doing is you're assessing patterns. So sometimes you have to roll back the tape. Like, okay, how did we get here? What in the world? Because a lot of times it's a shock to people. Like, they weren't anticipating it. They were sideswiped. This came out of nowhere. But then when you begin to take a step back and reevaluate and look back, rolling back the tape of your relationship, rolling back the tape of the person that you're involved with, you begin to see things that you probably weren't as mindful
you
of.
are right about that. Oftentimes we'll say the origin of a thing determines the nature of it. And so, you know, sometimes we overlook certain bad habits that we've seen in our partners from the very beginning. We knew it was there. We thought we could change it on our own with our own magic, you know, powers. Like, I'm just going to love it out of them. And that really isn't enough, you know. And then there are those folks that didn't know that there was infidelity or any negative habit happening, but it was happening prior to their relationship. And so when you start to do some homework and dig deep and discover that, hey, there's a pattern of this type of behavior, now you know what you're dealing with.
One of the questions that we often ask when couples come to us is, listen, how long have you been married? Oh, we've been married for 8 years, 10 years. Well, how long were you together before you got married? Oh, we were together for about a year, year and a half. Well, was there any infidelity or betrayal before I do? Well, yeah, there was.
Before I do, right.
Before I do, right?
While I'm dating.
So while in their relationship it took place, but it was before I do. And a lot of people say, well, what happened before I do? Why should that matter? We weren't really married. There wasn't a level of commitment, but there was a commitment. You were still in the same relationship. And so that's a part of the pattern. We got to look at that. Now, here's the reality. you're not condemned because of your past.
Correct.
Right? I think a lot of times people imprison people to their past and don't give them an opportunity to change and transform. But the past does give us insight into who you are and to how you show up. So we can't ignore it. We've got to consider it, because once again, we're identifying a pattern. And that really goes into the next point, right? So we're talking about rolling back the tape and looking at one's past. But the next point is this: pay attention to your partner's relationship history. See, that's a past even beyond the past that you two share together.
Right. First girlfriend, first boyfriend. What happened? How'd you show up in the relationship? This is the stuff people don't talk about. This is the stuff that gets us in trouble. Think about it. This is the stuff that we end up talking to couples about at Couples Academy, and when we're going into the history of their relationship, that they never told that they were a chronic cheater. Right? They never told that they cheated on every boyfriend that they had, or cheated on every girlfriend that they had, that they witnessed and observed as a child infidelity in the home. They actually helped keep the secrets of their dad's affair.
They were complicit.
They met the affair partner. And so this is something that sometimes is ingrained into the person that you're with, and you had no idea.
That is a shown up fact. And knowing that history is so important, because when you get to the why, well, why did this happen, and what did I do, and how was I not enough, and how did I not provide, oftentimes it has nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with that.
It's the pathology of the person that you're in the relationship with based upon their past. And once again, you're not condemned for it. You can change and transform. But see, here's the deal. A lot of people really, I think they underestimate what change is required to live a life that's different.
I do. And I also think that people underestimate the power of historical honesty, because you'll talk to a lot of people and they'll say, well, what's in the past is in the past. I don't need to know. Let's just move forward. You're so determined to get down the aisle or to get to whatever the goal is that you don't want to know, because if you were to know, it might pump your brakes a little bit if you actually knew what was really going on, but you don't want to know. And so people overlook the power of historical honesty. They don't want to go back, dig up the truth, take a look at it, kill all the demons, put them to rest, so that you can move forward with a clean slate.
Yeah, absolutely. So when people say, well, I'm different now, like I've changed, that's not who I am anymore, that's my past, don't judge me. Well, what makes you different? What have you done that is different? Did you have an encounter with God? Did you go from Saul to Paul? Like, did you fall off the donkey or the horse? Like, what happened to you? Because if you haven't gone through some spiritual transformation or some process that you've been guided through by a practitioner, a coach, a therapist, a pastor, if something hasn't happened significant to you, then guess what? You aren't different. You are who you are. You may be in a different season of your life, and maybe those things haven't come out. Those demons haven't resurrected, if you will, because nothing pulled them out. So the reality is, change is intentional.
What you just said.
What did I just say?
You just said.
Talk about it.
You said them demons, nothing happened to pull them demons out, because when we talk about demons, we're talking about those issues and those idiosyncrasies and those problems that oftentimes are laying dormant. They're laying dormant, waiting for the opportunity, because there has been no change. There has been no transformation. There has been no mindset shift or no renewing of the mind. None of that's taken place. They've said they've changed because they've made the decision to change because they want you. Right? So them demons that are still sitting there are dormant until what? Until you get married, until there's a big argument, until they get bored with you, until things become monotonous, until you decide you're no longer in the in-love feeling, until the right person crosses their path and they see a right twitch and that twitch look right, so it requires real transformation, which in my belief system comes through the Lord Jesus Christ. That's where real transformation comes from. You have to submit and sit under the authority of something. And oftentimes you can't rely on man. It can't be some man that is the authority that you're sitting under, because the moment they slip and fall, because they're just a man, now you slip and fall.
That's right.
It needs to be somebody higher than you, higher than man, that is your authority that you both submit to. But we going trailing off, so get back.
I'm just saying, because what happens is a lot of people's relationship with God is predicated upon their man of God's relationship with God. And man, if you
right.
can't make it, then what's the point? I might as well just give up and go back to my old life.
Right.
So now you're
if
going.
they can't win, how am I going to win? They the pastor. They got the word on their tongues.
So now you going to volunteer to go straight to hell because somebody else didn't get it right? Like, get your life.
Get your life.
Fix it. See, these are the things we're talking about. We're talking about the 11 signs that a cheater will cheat again. We want you to be mindful of that. Listen, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. We have some great announcements for you, and we're going to get back into this conversation. Be right there.
To the wives struggling to move forward, I know that you're hurt, filled with doubt, fear, anger, and resentment. I know you're trying to be your best self throughout this recovery process, all while still having to be mom, daughter, sister, friend, and so much more. I know it feels impossible to be there for everyone else when at times your journey feels so isolated and alone. I know that more than once a day, you scream on the inside, I can't take this anymore. I know there are days when you feel like you want to give up and run away. I know you spend too much time sitting in your car parked in the driveway to get your head right so that you can keep moving. I know this feels like a lot of work with no guarantees. And I know you wonder, what happened to me? Who am I? And why am I here? More than you'd like to admit. I know all of this because I once felt the way you do too. It may not be evident by looking around because we all wear our masks, but you're not the only one who feels like you'll never get back to you. That's why I've launched Unearth. Unearth is a 12-week group coaching program focused on discovering the woman within. Just as the earth hides all kinds of precious stones waiting to be found, buried within every woman are the seeds of wisdom, strength, purpose, and passion waiting to be brought to the light. Unearth will take you through a spiritual, emotional, and physical excavation process that will reveal to you who God designed you to be and guide you through a process to embrace and activate your true identity. When you complete this journey, you'll have a new focus aligned with your core values so that you can begin to feel your life again and discover that your gifts aren't buried, but planted and waiting to be unearthed. Register today.
Welcome back, everybody. You are watching the Couples Academy show, and I just want to put a few words on that last advertisement about the Unearth program. Wives, if you're out there and you are struggling, going through a restorative process in your marriage, if you've experienced the hurt of infidelity, God is not done with you yet. He is not done with your marriage yet, but oftentimes we don't know where to plant our feet. Infidelity is so disruptive and destructive that even even though you might have the tools, because I know you tune in every week, and some of you are working one-on-one with our counselors, sometimes, even though you have the tools, you still find it difficult to let go, to move forward, to feel your life, to experience the normalcy that you once had. You've lost yourself. This 12-week program is transformative. If this is you, I want you to go to the website, couplesacademy.org, under services, click Unearthed, and I want you to go there and listen to some of the testimonies. I want you to discover for yourself if this is for you. If God has called you to be in this program, we are launching our next class January 30th. So there's still time to get in. Get in this class. It's the top of 2023. It's time for you to make that transformation and get back to you, to unearth yourself and become the person that you, or the woman that God has designed you to be. So check it out. I can't wait to see you in the program.
There it is. All right, guys, we're going back to steps or signs, I should say, that will indicate that your spouse will cheat again. We're going to go to the next one here, and I think this is one. If your partner cannot reassure you of their good behavior, past or present. Now, let's take time with this, right? Because a lot of times when a person cheats, they're unrepentant, they're unremorseful, they don't show compassion or empathy. It's almost like they're emotionally dead. You know, there's a deadening that took place in the relation or within them, right, that caused them to do what they did in the first place. And so they've been so numb for so long that when it's time to show any type of emotional connection to their spouse based upon the pain they're going through, they don't know how to do it.
Right. Well, it is brokenness within them. We all have brokenness, by the way. So this is not an indictment, right? But it's brokenness within them. And that brokenness comes from a place. So oftentimes their numbness, or the appearance of a numbness, is a protective wall that they've surrounded around themselves so that they don't have to feel the hurt. Because we just said it earlier that when you're hurting others, you're hurting yourself. You're heaping on pain, more pain to yourself. Your self-worth goes down. Your value goes down. Your believability in your own self to be able to do what it is that you say you want to do goes down. And so this is why they show up like this, very hard, very callous, like they don't care. The truth is that they don't believe they can do any better. Because they've never seen better, and they know their own history of failure. And so that's the perpetual cycle that goes on in the head and in the mind and in the subconscious, is that I'm this time I'm going to do right. This time I'm going to do right. But deep down inside, you know good and well, I don't know if I can do right. It's like an alcoholic, right? You are an alcoholic until the day that you die, and every day is a day that you're counting, because you don't know when it's going to be the next time you slip up and take a sip and fall off the wagon.
And because of that mindset, this is who I'm going to be for the rest of my life, you know.
Transformation.
What a person is looking for, they're looking for verbal and behavioral reassurance.
Yes.
It shows up in two ways. What are you saying, and what are you ultimately doing? And so, like, listen, I can't promise that I'm never going to do this again. I mean, what do you want me to make, a promise, a vow, a declaration? Yes, that's what I want, Joka. I want you to do that because I need the constant verbal reassurance, because in my mind, all I think are negative thoughts that reinforce you're going to do it again. And so my negative self-talk, right, my low self-esteem, because that's been shot when you did what you did, all the things that I'm seeing on Instagram, all the reality shows that I'm watching, all the movies, all the music that I listen to on the radio reinforces that the world is cheating. And then when you don't give me any confidence that you'll do anything different, yes, I'm going to believe that you're going to cheat again. So I need a promise, a vow, and a declaration. Yes. So when a person says, well, I'm not sure. I mean, I can't predict the future. I can't make a promise. I just don't know. Well, that is an indication that they're not willing to do whatever it takes, because you don't need to know the how. The how is irrelevant. When you have a strong conviction about something, you will make a declaration and figure it out along the way.
You'll put the pieces in place. You'll get the training that you need. You'll get a leader, some mentor in place. But you said one other thing that really stood out to me, and that is when you mentioned all the different things, the media, the television, the radio, and all of that. When it comes to evidence that you'll never, ever cheat on me again, or that you're going to do your best to never do this again, I also want to know that you've cleaned up what you're watching. Because that's evidence. Like if you know that you've hurt me and you've cheated on me, right? And this was an offense, and I'm waiting to see some evidence in you. Even if you said, I'm never gonna do this again, I swear I'm never gonna do this again, but then I catch you watching some salacious mess on TV, some BET, basketball, whatever nonsense, trash TV that you can feed your undeveloped nature, right, which has you out here doing all these things.
Facts.
Now I'm judging, is he going to stay on track? Is he going to be able to do what it is that he's saying he's doing? Because look at his appetite, look at his diet, look what he's still feeding himself with, feeding his spirit with. You need to change what you're feeding your spirit to align with the commitment and the promises that you're trying to keep.
That's a bomb.
Oh, I can't hear that.
That is a bomb. Listen, at the end of the day, what were you watching when you were cheating? What were you doing
what
when
were you
you were
feeding
cheating? Right. What were you feeding on? What were you eating on? Who were you surrounded with? Where were you going? What were your patterns? And if you're still engaged in the same patterns that you were when you were cheating,
Did you mention who were you hanging with? Did you say that?
I did say that.
Who were you hanging with? Now, if you're still hanging out with the same brothers and sisters that you were hanging out with before, but you're trying to convince me that you've changed, I'm not seeing the evidence. It looks like the same. It looks like another day to me.
So, are you patient? Are you kind? Are you accommodating? These are the behaviors as well. Because it's one thing to say, babe, I won't do it again. Babe, you can trust me. But how do you show up when your spouse is going through? Do you overextend yourself, right? What are you doing to not just articulate, but to demonstrate? See, articulation and demonstration are two critical things that you have to do habitually. That means a habit forming behavior. And when you've done it long enough, now it becomes instinctual. You don't have to think about it. It just becomes a part of who you are. It is your nature. These are the things that are required for change and transformation. Listen, what we're going to do, we're going to go to another quick break. Stay tuned. And then we're going to unpack some more of these signs that your partner may cheat again. Stay right there.
We're really excited about Foundation. It is a new group program where couples are gathering from all around the world twice a week, couples who just want to have a thriving, successful, amazing marriage. No really well-built house is built without a foundation. As a matter of fact, without a foundation, it can't stand. It would just crumble right into the ground. We are going to interview experts and other successful couples so that you can get a glimpse into the lives of other people who are doing what it is that you desire to do, who have and are accomplishing what it is that you want to accomplish. And we also have over 500 videos available for you to watch of all of our teaching. Everything that we've ever done, every topic that we've ever covered will be accessible to you.
So guys, if this sounds exciting to you and if this sounds like something you've been waiting for, go ahead and just give it a try. We're literally giving away a 15-day trial for $1. And then after that, it's simply $3 a day. And so, is your marriage worth it? Is your future worth it? Join the community today. Just click that button and meet us on the other side.
All right, guys, we're back. Are you enjoying this? Are we giving you some nuggets that really give you insight and make a difference? I hope so, because that's what we're here to do. Now, Foundations is the new program in 2023 that we want you to be a part of. Oh my God, we have unrolled it, or if that's the right way of saying it, unleashed
Rolled it out.
Rolled it out, yeah.
Launched it.
Launched it,
Yeah.
yeah, at the tail end of 2022. So a lot of our previous Moving Forward members and previous clients are in it, and they're getting so much out of it. It is so transformational for them. And I mean, the text messages, and we just got a text message last night after, as soon as we ended, boom, they started coming. So,
and you know, the fact that they get to benefit from all the coaches in foundations. Like, if you are out there and you're like, what do I do? Like, I got to get these weeklies in and I need to get some support. Foundations comes with everything.
It does.
You know, you get the teaching and all of that. You get the whole team, all of the coaches in there supporting you. It's a powerful program.
So listen, if you partake in watching this show, I'm telling you, you're getting a sliver, a portion of what you can experience if you join Foundations, and community, which you cannot beat.
Right.
So consider that it's only $1 to try it out for 15 days, and if you don't like it, you're gonna love it. You'll be with us for life. But if you don't like it, you can go. All right. Let's go to the next one. We're talking about signs that your partner will cheat again. Is your partner willing to do the work to heal the relationship? Now, I want to look at this in two different ways, right? So there's the healing that he or she needs to experience for his or herself, oneself, but then there's the healing that needs to take place in the relationship. And so this is why we say we focus on your personal healing and your relational transformation, your personal transformation and your relational transformation. There's two different things. So if I'm broken, as you just mentioned, because we're all broken and we all need to be healed or fixed, what am I doing internally for me? But what am I doing to assist you in your healing? Because as the offender, I have two roles to play. I have to change me, and I have to create an environment where change and transformation and healing can take place within you, which will then bond us back together as a couple. And so if a person is not willing to do the work, then come on, what are we talking about? It's almost like a person who says they want to lose weight, they want to be fit, but they never get up and go to the gym. They never eat right. They eat all hours of the night. They have too many portions of food. They're eating all the wrong things. And so their behaviors really speak loud for them. Their behaviors articulate something that their words can never do. And so oftentimes we're lying with our mouths, but our bodies and our actions are telling the truth. And so to your point, what are you doing? All we need to do is take a look at you. Like if I spend 4 or 5 hours with a person, I can predict where they're going to be in their future just by looking at their habits.
You know why? Because you will know them by their fruit.
Boom.
What fruit are you producing? That's what I want to know. And I mean, it's a powerful point to make, is your spouse willing to do the work to prove to you that this thing can move forward? And that requires energy, because what we have to understand is that the reason why you're in a position that you're in anyway is because you didn't have the power or the strength to maintain and to control your actions. And so it led you astray. It led you were led off by your own vices and your own desires. It takes strength to withstand that. Just like to your point, it takes strength to turn away another plate of food, to not get a second helping, right? To not overeat or eat the wrong things, to say no when you're driving past the Dairy Queen or whatever it is. It takes a certain amount of strength that you have to exercise. And so it's really important for you to know if they're willing to do the work, because oftentimes we're spinning our wheels for years and years and years with somebody that never plans to change.
That is a shown up fact. Let's go to some of the comments. Mary says, my partner cheats financially constantly. I know we're talking about physical, but financial cheating also destroys trust. Has accounts I can't see so he can spend as he wants. And you're right. There's different types of infidelity. There's the sexual infidelity. There's the emotional infidelity. There's the financial infidelity. And all of them could be very, very, very damaging to a marriage. And so I don't know if there's a hierarchy, which one is worse than the other. It's how it hits and lands for that particular couple. There are some people who have said, I would have rathered you be physical than emotional. Others have said, oh my God, I'd rather you be emotional than physical. Some would say, I'd rather you would have taken advantage of the finances instead of letting somebody take advantage of your body.
Oh my God. Financial infidelity can be huge, especially for certain types. And I mean, I got to go there because I'm just thinking about anybody who is safety security based, that they thought they had a certain amount of money in the bank, or they thought that they could trust you with the knowledge of what they had, or trust you with access to it, and you betrayed that trust, emptied the bank account, spent it on other relationships, whether male or female, spent it on gambling, spent it on drinking or yourself, or whatever you did without letting your spouse know, is destructive for somebody who their whole entire plan, the way that they see the world, is safety, security, future. And you've destroyed the potential of that safe, secure future.
Facts. Let's go to another comment that just came in from Deborah. Do you have any programs for people going through divorce? Absolutely. It's called Foundations. It's called one-on-one sessions. It's called a private marriage intensive. It's called, all of our programs are for people going through a divorce. Don't you realize that 95% of our clients fit into one of three categories? Either they're a couple in crisis, they're on the verge of divorce, or they've experienced some type of an affair and are trying to figure out how to navigate through it. There's a healthy percentage of couples who have come to us when papers have already been filed. But for whatever reason, they want to know, is it possible to turn this thing around? I'm willing to give this one last chance. That's why we have the Last Chance Weekend. So if you find that you're in a situation where your spouse or yourself have already begun proceedings, it hasn't happened yet. And in fact, there have been couples who have divorced who have come back for counseling, and we have remarried them. Okay?
So even when you think it's dead and gone,
Straight
it's
up,
not.
most people divorce because they feel hopeless, they feel helpless, they feel like desperate, like nothing's going to change. So there's no better decision to make than to just leave. But the reality is, once you gain insight and perspective, and there's a new way of seeing things, and it's a process that you can go through, you realize that you don't have to go down that path. Divorce is not the pathway to happiness. It creates more pain, just a different type of pain. And so we're here to help turn those things around. So please, sis, set up a discovery call, reach out to us. We will be more than happy to guide you through a process.
Absolutely.
Listen, there's so much more we can talk about, but we've run out of time. You're watching the Couples Academy show. Hopefully you got something out of today's session. We're coming back tomorrow, folks, and again and again and again. We love the power of our team because we have excellent practitioners that dive in from different angles to handle these particular topics to give you what you need. So listen, chew on this a bit, sit down with your spouse, watch it, talk about it, and see us tomorrow at 9:30 for another great episode. Take care.